Good Friday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. An animal tranquilizer that's increasingly being found in drug overdose investigations poses increased risk for drug users. The gray wolf has come back from near eradication in eastern Washington, and now it could soon move off the state's endangered species list. And in weather, record high temperatures on tap again tomorrow with the possibility of thunderstorms, and then much cooler next week. A Moses Lake man is headed to federal prison for his part in a methamphetamine sales ring. 30-year-old Irbeen Martinez Santa Cruz was sentenced Wednesday to 11.5 years after pleading guilty to conspiracy to distribute meth. Martinez was one of 8 Grant County men indicted in 2021, 5 of whom have since entered guilty pleas. His sentence is identical to that of fellow defendant Cody Ray Flores, who was ordered to prison back in December. Another conspirator, Mario Robert Crittenton, was sentenced in October to 11 years in prison, and Cristobal Garcia was sentenced to 10 years in March. Another defendant, Ismael Ortiz Jr., is due to be sentenced in August when he faces a possible 10 to 11 years. 3 other men, including Jesse Roy Charlton, still await trial. The Wenatchee Valley Fire Department dealt with not 1 but 3 brush fire calls in Douglas County on Thursday, including a fast-moving grass fire that climbed toward homes in Fancher Heights. That fire erupted about 4:40 p.m. but was quickly controlled and extinguished about 20 minutes later. An earlier fire near Rock Island just after 3 p.m. briefly led to the closure of Highway 28 while fire crews created a perimeter around the burning brush. Yet another small fire had to be addressed on Skyline Lane in East Wenatchee. Commissioner of Public Lands Hilary Franz is forecasting a tough wildfire season this year. Yesterday, Franz was in Wenatchee and met with representatives from local organizations who work directly to fight the impact of wildfires. Franz said that in 2021, fire season for the state began in March and went until October, but the colder and wet winter prevented that from happening this year. The recent heat wave begins the wildfire watch, and while a hard fire season may be ahead, the Department of Natural Resources is geared up to fight. Franz sat down with local media to detail those preparations.
What we are doing is actually what we have been doing, which is making sure that we have our trainings in place. We've recruited our seasonal firefighters. We are training our local firefighters and getting them more access to that training so we have more of them also ready. In addition to that, we have brought in a significant level of air resources, as I said out there. Historically, we had around 12, 15 air resources for our state. We changed that model in 2021 after the Labor Day firestorm, where we couldn't get the kind of resource we need because California and Oregon were on fire, and moved to around 37 in 2021. Last year we had around, it wasn't as challenging a year, but we had just shy of 30, and we'll have at least 34 on exclusive use or in our own ownership.
An animal tranquilizer that's increasingly being found in drug overdose investigations poses increased risks for drug users. That's the warning this week from the Chelan-Douglas Health District and other health agencies who say the addictive xylazine has been found in doses of fentanyl and other illicit drugs. Xylazine is often mixed in to prolong or strengthen the effects of other narcotics, and it does not respond to overdose medications such as the life-saving Narcan. That can make a fatal overdose more likely. The health district said it expects to see an increased presence of xylazine in street drugs that are consumed right here in north central Washington. When we come back, we will update you on who has filed for various political offices. The gray wolf has come back from near eradication in eastern Washington, and now it could soon move off the state's endangered species list. And a new colorful mural has popped up in Wenatchee. We'll tell you where. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Some school board election races are shaping up to appear on the August primary ballot. At least 6 candidates are now in the running for 2 Wenatchee school board seats as of this afternoon. The district reorganized last year into election sub-districts, meaning all 5 board seats are on the ballot in 2023. For Sub-District 4, representing most of South Wenatchee, Joe Cortez, Quentin Martin, and Miranda Skaliski have all filed to run for office. The school board has one at-large seat where incumbent board member Martin Barron is in the running. He'll face newcomers Tricia Cleek and John Lacassie on the primary ballot. The top 2 vote-getters in races with 3 candidates or more move on to the November general election. The primary voting period opens July 14th and ends on August 1st. The gray wolf has come back from near eradication in eastern Washington. Now it could soon move off the state's endangered species list. The Department of Fish and Wildlife is recommending a relisting of the gray wolf's status to sensitive, meaning it's vulnerable but far less likely to face extinction. Washington documented 8 new wolf packs in 2022, including 2 in Chelan County. Wildlife managers say although wolf populations have far exceeded projections, the animals have not recovered in all areas. The proposed change in their species status is open to public input. You can read and comment on the periodic status review at the Fish and Wildlife website. A new mural has popped up in Wenatchee. Methow Market, located at 617 Methow Street, is now painted with an array of colorful flowers and a new image of the Lady of Guadalupe. Some finishing touches were being added yesterday by artist Sarah Haslinger, who also put together the Wenatchee mural on Wenatchee Avenue. There was a call for community help last week, and members of the public joined to help with a paint-by-number system on May 15th. NCWLIFE caught up with Haslinger to talk about her work on the market.
Owners contacted me. They got my info from the downtown mural, and they already had the Lady Guadalupe on the mural, and they had it graffitied on. So they, the owners, the daughter, bought the business from her parents. So she wanted to revamp the mural, let everybody know that they're still here, but they're kind of having a fresh new start. The art I've been wanting to do is, I'm kind of into community stuff, so I really am seeing that it's bringing cheer and it's actually making an impact, so I'm really happy about that.
Coming up next in tonight's feature story, the Leavenworth Spring Bird Fest got its start on Thursday and is in full swing throughout the weekend. Along with some thunderstorm activity, record high temperatures are expected tomorrow before a big cool down arrives on Sunday and into next week. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us. The Leavenworth Spring Bird Fest got its start on Thursday, and it's in full swing throughout the weekend with dozens of events, workshops, field trips, and other forms of avian fun. The fest has been going for 20 years with a focus on the airborne natural world of the Upper Valley. In tonight's feature story, NCWLIFE's Dan Kuntz spoke with festival organizers at the Wenatchee River Institute.
There is something for everybody. There are trips that require registration, and those are capped on the website so you can see if they're full or not. But there are things that don't require registration that you can just show up for, which is really nice because you don't have to register ahead of time for those, and they don't have a capacity limit on those. And there's also stuff like Family Day that anyone can drop in. There's a full day birding excursion with Wenatchee Valley College's Dan Stevens that goes out to the coulee. I think the description says it's a birders marathon, which feels like an accurate description. But it's fun to see every year what's popular and what new trip offerings people are really excited about. There's a couple trips in number 2 Canyon that folks are really excited about that are full. Chelan Douglas Land Trust is an excellent partner, and we get to see some of their different spaces, and a lot of those trips are full already, I think partly because they're in these cool and exciting spots. But there's lots of trips that still have room.
Birdfest is definitely a team effort. We work well with each other and do Rebecca, I would say, is probably the head of the WRI Birdfest planning. And then I just kind of help her along with, and Joshua as well, who's not here, but I help them along with making sure that the word gets out. So talking with people, making sure that everyone knows about all the fun things coming up to do with Bird Fest, because there are a bunch of events. There's over 50 birding trips this year, so it's the biggest bird fest ever. So there's a lot of things to choose from. There's Family Day coming up. Really, there's something for everyone there. Kids, adults, students, whether it's high school, college, younger than that. We do monthly beginner bird walks here on the second Wednesday of every month. And our staff person, Tucker, he's a field educator, he mans those, or he puts those on, and he actually uploads all of the sightings of birds that we find onto our eBird account. So you can actually go onto the eBird website and see all the different birds that have been spotted here pretty much all year round, which is great. But a lot of species. The birds love it here.
Our partners with the National Audubon Society worked so hard. Our North Central Washington chapter here we couldn't do Bird Fest without them. They coordinate volunteers, they plan all the trips. I don't know all the hot spots for birding. They're the ones who know that and help us put all the lists together. And then we do the whole how to register and get the word out parts of it. Could not do it without the North Central Washington Audubon Society.
Let's take a check now of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope your Friday was a great one. It was a record setter here in the Wenatchee area. We'll get to that in a second. But how about a day at Lake Chelan today with temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s? Beautiful day. We did see a little bit of that smoky haze still lingering around North Central Washington. Boy, it was a lot worse to our east over in the Spokane area. Air there was actually slightly unhealthy throughout the day today, and I'll show you where that's coming from here in a second. But today, record high temperatures, 91 degrees unofficially at the airport today. That breaks our old record of 88 set 30 years ago, back in 1993. 73 is where we should be for this time of year, so we shattered that record today. 61 overnight low this morning. 50 is our normal low for this time of year, and 34 is our record set in 1975. Sunrise 5:20 this morning and sets tonight at 8:36. And are you ready to do it all again tomorrow? Because it looks like we will be heading more record-setting territory tomorrow, even a little bit warmer. Our record in Wenatchee tomorrow, 89 degrees, so we could obliterate that once again. Even warmer for Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy, in the mid-90s for high temperatures tomorrow. Boy, that is hot for May, no doubt about that. Cashmere, Entiat, 91, 92 for Chelan. Let's head up to Lake Wenatchee tomorrow. Beautiful high temperature of 86. Now, let's show you where all the smoke's coming from. All of these areas in Saskatchewan, Alberta, and back into British Columbia. 91 wildfires burning right now in Canada, so you can imagine where all of that smoke is going. Montana seeing the worst of it right now, but a lot of that has moved over into eastern Washington as well. And it looks like right now our wind direction will switch, and we should have clearer skies as we get into the upcoming weekend. Tonight, high clouds in our forecast. It will be mild. Low temperatures tonight in the low to mid 50s. Boy, hardly a cloud, just a few high clouds out there, as I mentioned. Still high pressure off the coast, and that'll be ruling the roost for at least another day tomorrow. We will see increasing clouds, though, in the afternoon tomorrow, and you can see that throughout Washington. And look at the possibility of thunderstorms popping up tomorrow, so keep your eye on the sky on that very warm day tomorrow. Mid-90s for most of us, and then a weather change comes our way. High pressure moves to the north, and that'll bring in some cooler northwesterly air. We'll see some windy conditions on Sunday and high temperatures. That should be low 80s for Sunday, but that is a big cool down compared to this weekend. And then on Monday, even cooler. Mostly sunny skies. We're still going to see some wind here in north central Washington. Highs in the low 70s is all for Monday before we start going back up again as we move into the middle of the week. For Tuesday, sunny skies. Look at all of the clear skies over the western third of the country. We're talking highs, very nice Tuesday into those middle 70s, and we're going to continue with that nice trend as well. Midweek Wednesday, mostly sunny skies. High pressure still parked off the coast of California. High temperatures again into those mid 70s for Wednesday, so it should be a beautiful midweek next week. And then we're going to begin to warm up once again as we get into Thursday. high pressure slides back closer to our coastline. That'll warm us up under mostly sunny skies. Highs at the end of our forecast right around 80 degrees. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast. 65 degrees overnight tonight. Record highs possible tomorrow. 92 here, 89 is our record. But be aware, thunderstorms also in the forecast tomorrow afternoon, so watch the sky. And then a couple of windy days Sunday and Monday, and that weather change will cool us down. Only 72 for the high on Monday, mid-70s on both Tuesday and Wednesday, and with mostly sunny skies Thursday, expect an afternoon high of 80 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Well, the Mariners are in Atlanta to begin a weekend series today. Seattle's currently 3-3 on the current 9-game road trip as they make a stop at Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia. The Mariners hope Bryce Miller can help right the ship after 2 ugly losses in Boston. The rookie right-hander's off to a stellar start with a 2-0 record and a .47 earned run average. He'll go up against Bryce Edler. And when's the last time you had 2 Bryces start against each other? Edler is 3-0 with a 1.94 ERA. That game underway right now, and it's only available to watch on Apple TV+. There was only one game in the American League West yesterday. Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout each homered to power the Angels over Baltimore 6-5. Seattle remains 5 games behind Texas in the American League West standings. Racing returns to Wenatchee Valley Super Oval this weekend. Tomorrow is Military Appreciation Night as all active, retired, and reserved military members receive free admission. As a thank you for their service, racing will include the Rockstar Energy B-Mods, Plum Perfect Roadrunners, Zero Handicap Youth Roadrunners, and the Angel Bail Bonds Bandoleros. Gates open at 4:30 with the opening ceremony at 6. If you can't be there in person, we'll have it live here on the NCWLIFE channel. I'll be joined by Greg Rentz with the call on Local Channel 12, Charter Channel 18, and streaming on our Facebook page as well as our website at ncwlife.com. Well, coaching has been a crucial element to the success of the Wenatchee Youth FC program over the past few years. Wenatchee FC Director of Coaching Neil Oyston and FC parent Jeremy Anders joined us on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley recently to talk about the new direction of youth soccer in the Valley.
There's such a popularity within the game here. I think what it needed was a structure. And I think that's, again, we've got a great board who now execute the vision that we set with the coaching staff. We've got really passionate coaches who invest their time. You've got to think a large amount of our coaching staff are actually volunteer. But we've also added great people. We've got Gary Heel, too, who's a former professional. We've got Adrian Espinoza now, who is going to be having a little bit more control within the organization. Mike Osborne as well, who's obviously been within the Valley. So you put a bit of structure to that talent, and then you're just going to see that grow. And like I said, we're going up to probably about 40 teams this tryouts, which is about 600 players within the program. And that's probably one of the biggest clubs definitely within Eastern Washington. And when we go over and we play the teams like Seattle, Spokane, and out of state, we're now competing at those levels. And so people now are starting to hear about us. It was never like that before. I think whenever we used to go to Seattle, even out of state, they'd never really heard of us. But now they know Wenatchee FC, and I think, again, that's just a testament to the work that we've done over the years.
Oyston says the amount of talent in the Valley is really showing itself on the state and national level.
Obviously, this has been a process. Obviously, I've been in this position quite a while now, and I've seen the growth within the Valley, kind of like what you said. The amount of kids playing the game is at an all-time high. And you just have to look at the high school too. Obviously, they've been very successful. We've got a lot of the boys within Wenatchee FC played the 2 high schools local to town, and so I think it's just a testament to the work that we've been doing. Obviously, we had a national title success last year with our 2005 team. We've actually got 3 more teams. 2 of those are girls teams going to nationals this year, trying to emulate that as well. So I think you can just see across the board the amount of talent that we've got in this valley, and we hope to add some more to that at the upcoming tryouts.
The local high school programs for Eastmont and Wenatchee are prime examples of successful outcomes of a developmental program, and Oyston says he's proud of the work by the players.
And look, I always say if you're good enough, it doesn't matter how old you are. We've also got the local semi-pro team, Wenatchee All-Stars as well, where we have 2 or 3 of our current players playing up on the men's semi-pro team. So if you're talented, if you can play the game, then age is just irrelevant. So, you know, obviously Tronson and Hurtado have done a fantastic job there as well. We train the boys, you know, and the girls too, probably 8 to 9 months of the year, and then they go off and they play high school for the remaining part of the year. So it's a fantastic relationship that we've got with both of those schools, and one where we can probably help each other into the future too.
Tryouts are underway at Wenatchee Valley College for the next week based on age and birth year. Jeremy Anders speaks to fellow parents who may be curious.
It's a chance, really. You know, there's people that, you know, their kid may be playing rec soccer right now, and they're like, you know, I just want to see, maybe I have a chance to play it, or just they want to come check out the club and kind of see how it goes. We're not going to say you're not committed to doing anything by coming to tryouts. It's just a chance for you to come check out the club, see the structure. We have information that we give out at tryout night. Kind of gives you, you know, just a chance to see where your kid's at in the soccer rinks. And we have, you know, levels on each age group that, you know, go through there. We, you know, not everybody comes up and is going to play in the Super League team the first tryout they go. You know, they have to develop into that.
Wenatchee Youth FC is for all ages and all skill levels, and Oyston says the tryouts are very structured and will showcase a player's abilities.
A big thank you to the college for hosting us during our tryout. We've got Coach Giovanni there who's going to be aiding us. We've got the 2 college fields, so it's going to be a great field, a great spectacle. We're going to be doing lots of small-sided games, so there's going to be plenty of opportunities for the players to be able to showcase their skills. They're going to be overseen by our coaching staff, myself, Mike Osborne, Gary Heel, Adrian Espinoza. We're going to be overseeing the actual tryout process. And then, yeah, if they're successful enough in being added to a team, then that's when we'll be communicating to them about what that process looks like.
Go to WFCYouth.net for more information about the program and how to sign up your son or daughter for their ongoing tryouts. Well, a few high school boys soccer programs are going to test their mettle in the WIAA State AB tournament today. In fact, one's already underway. Cascade is facing Kingsway Christian in the official first round of the tournament. That's happening at Highland High School. Later at 6 at Highland, Tonasket faces the Scotties. Quincy will host Connell tonight later on at 7 o'clock. Well, Moses Lake baseball team is in Lacey tomorrow for the first round of the WIAA State 4A tournament. Skyline and Tahoma play the first game at 10, followed by Moses Lake and Olympia at 1. Winners of those games will face off in the quarterfinals at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Chelan plays at Foss High School tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. against Clahoya in the State 1A tournament. If they win, they'll face the winner of Toppenish and Deer Park in the quarterfinals. Kashmir, meanwhile, down in the Vancouver area tomorrow, facing Cedar Park Christian Bothell at 10 a.m. That'll be at Camas High School. Lennon Christian and La Center follow at 1, with the winners to face off for the quarterfinals at about 4 o'clock. Tonasket will play at Davis High School tomorrow in the first round of the WIAA State 2B baseball tournament. They'll face Riverview at noon, with the winner taking on Tri-Cities Prep at 3. Brewster is the host site for a couple of other State 2B games tomorrow. It begins at noon with Ilwaco facing Northwest Christian. The winner of that game will play Brewster at 3 o'clock. Area fast pitch softball teams are playing district tournaments this weekend before their state tournaments get underway next week. Eastmont is hosting the District 6 4A tournament at the Sterling Fourplex tomorrow. Wildcats will face Moses Lake at 11 a.m. for the district championship. At the same time, Wenatchee meets West Valley in the consolation bracket. Winner between the Panthers and Rams will play for the loser of Eastmont and Moses Lake at 1 o'clock for a last chance to move on to the state tournament. Kashmir gets to host the District 6 1A tournament after their regular season title in the Caribou Trail League. They'll face Cascade at 11 tomorrow morning in a loser-out game. The winner of that game will face the winner of between Omak and Quincy for the district championship at 3 o'clock. Only one team will advance to state. Also, today's the final day of the District 6 2B tournament. Brewster is hosting Oroville for a last chance to get to the state tournament after Okanagan punched their ticket earlier this week. That game underway in Brewster. Our friends in Elmira Cooley Heartline also will be in Spokane for the District 6-7-9 1B tournament. Today and tomorrow, Warriors face Sunnyside Christian at Franklin Park. That game is underway. Win or lose, they'll play at least one more game tomorrow, either at 1:15 or 3 o'clock, depending on win or lose. Top 2 teams from the double elimination tournament will advance to state. That's a look at sports news. Have a happy Friday.
I'm Dan Coots. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Monday's guest on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Tony Sandoval, the Chelan County VSO, Veterans Service Officer, talking about the brand new Digital Navigator.
There's more to it. Please tune in so you can learn about the Digital Navigator program that the Washington State Department of Veterans Affairs has put out.
Tony will be my guest on Monday's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great weekend.